Welcome along to the Record Club, brought to you by Record Store Day, the official chart and National Album Day, and proudly in association with Bowers and Wilkins. My name is Jess Iszatt. Thank you so much for joining us. We are very excited to say that our guests this evening are the Big Moon to talk all about their brilliant new album, Here Is Everything. If you are new to the Record Club, we're going to be spending the next half an hour or so talking to the Big Moon all about the brilliant new record, and then we're going to be putting some of your questions about the album forward for them to answer. So if there is anything that you'd like to know about the new record, whether it's about a certain song, maybe the artwork or a particular lyric that you've enjoyed, make sure to drop us a question in the comments section below, and I'm going to be asking a selection of them in the second half of our chat. On top of that, one lucky person who sends in a question today will be randomly selected to win a pair of Bowers and Wilkins PX7 over-ear noise cancelling headphones. If you like the look of them, I'm wearing them now. They also sound great. So yeah, don't miss out. Get your questions to us. I also have the new record here in my hand. Got the girls on the back there as well. If you don't already have a copy, we thoroughly recommend you order one once our chat is over with the Big Moon from your local record store. So let's get straight into this week's Record Club and say a big hello to Soph from the Big Moon. Welcome along.
Hi. Thank you.
How are we both doing?
We're good. Thank you for having us.
Good. I'm glad you could join me. So every single week on the Record Club, to kick things off, we have a question from one of the many amazing independent record stores in the UK. And I believe you know this week's. So this week's question is from Sound Knowledge in Marlborough. And they have said, well, it's a two-parter. So first up, they've said, we had a blast last Saturday hosting you at the shop. So off the back of that, our first question is, have you found a good hangover cure?
Actually, playing in the record shop in Marlborough was quite a good hangover cure. I see why they asked us that, because we'd played in London the night before and we were all a bit wonky. But, playing a quiet little mini acoustic set and speaking to nice people was very nice. But I mean, nice. Loads of food, really.
Yeah. What's the hangover snack of choice or order of choice?
Burger.
Yard sale pizza.
Oh yeah,
the vegan like Texas sweet corn jalapeno one.
You're gonna make my tummy rumble now. Not even hungover. They also have actually a more serious question as well. So they said, on a serious note, it must have been pretty special to record some of this album together at Fern's house. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about that experience.
Yeah, we had take one of the record was in a studio with a producer, and it didn't sound right. It wasn't where we wanted it, so we ended up having 6 months of just a break, which I think is quite important to have some perspective.
And Jules had a baby in the break.
He also had a baby. I just had time to think about nothing else, but yeah. And so I've got a little studio in my flat, and yeah, we just, no pressure, just decided to just open up the hard drive and see what was right, what was wrong. And yeah, it was really lovely actually, because it's expensive to go into studios, and so it was nice to just have the freedom to just try anything and mess about and not have deadlines really, or money pressure or another party. It was just us four.
It was to have full control as well, because Fern's got into production the past few years. But I mean, you pretty much learned Pro Tools to do it, right?
Yeah.
And being able to sit there with Fern and Fern be able to try all the things, because that's the thing, you often, if you don't know how to do it, it's just really hard to create the thing you want. And it was really great being able to sit there and just work through it.
Was this this home studio, was it born out of that 6 months where you kind of, well, Jules obviously was off having a baby, and was this born out of a project to do something, or was it for the album? Was it for the Big Moon? Was it a bit of everything?
Bit of everything really. I always had a tiny little setup, but then I moved to a new place and suddenly had a spare room, and then I just decided. I like spent ages just walking around going. I got really obsessed with trying to make it sound not crap. And yeah, around that time, we made the decision to open up the album and work on it ourselves. So it sort of happened around the same time.
And you mentioned that it left you time to sort of experiment and stuff. I know I'm jumping on Sound Knowledge's question. Thanks, obviously, to them. But I hear that maybe like you experimented some things. Was there a baking tray involved at some point?
There was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also Fern's always been very creative with sounds and like making beats out of different sounds and stuff. And I feel like that really helped the songs, the way in which you just had time and space to like chop stuff up and like bed in percussion and stuff. But the baking tray I was there for that. And it was fun.
Which song is the baking tray on?
This Love.
This Love.
This Love. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that is amazing. Well, obviously, again, thank you so much to Sound Knowledge for your questions, both of them. And congratulations, a top 10 album, your first. How does that feel for you? Where were you when you found out, and how did you celebrate?
We just finished the installs tour the night before, and it was the first day in like weeks we hadn't been together. So I think we're all just in our houses like, oh, what do we do? And it was like it was like the first day off tour, so I think we were all mooching around. I mean, Jules was looking after her baby.
Yeah.
I went to the pub.
Nice. That sounds good.
Nice takeaway bottle of wine and watch the zones.
Honestly, well, if it's just like off the back of tour, I guess you guys, it's like the hard work has paid off, right?
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to relax, and yeah.
It was fun having the build up on tour together there. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I didn't realise we'd get updates, but our manager would be like, oh, you're at this number today. And we're all like just excited, but it's also kind of nerve-wracking because you don't want to get too carried away with it, but also when we were staying at that number we were like, oh, this could actually happen.
Oh my god, yeah. I saw on your Instagram, it must have been Jules who captioned this, but she said motherhood can be lonely, but right now there are giant billboards of an unfiltered pregnant belly all over the country, and our album about the joys and pains of birth and the beautiful relentlessness of parenting could end up in the top 10, and I mean, it has.
Yeah.
This album, obviously all about motherhood and parenthood and the highs and lows of it. It's not something in the past that has always been kind of put up there as something to naturally sing about. I mean, there's like, you know, love and breakups and all of that lot. But I feel like I've seen more comments about it being sexy and like pregnancy being sexy than ever. How's the response been for you guys?
Oh, interesting. I haven't seen that.
It was literally like all the comments underneath being like, this is so beautiful, this is so sexy, this is amazing. And I was just going through them and I was like, this is like the response that you actually want on socials that I was looking at anyway. Kind of made me see it in a different light.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, so it's been really wonderful to see. I mean, a lot of people have commented things in response to what Jules has said, but doing this record store tour, people were just coming up and saying, you know, that it meant a lot to them, or that they were pregnant, or they had a baby and had similar experiences. And seeing, I mean, I feel like we're like really lucky to have an insight into Jules's experience from being in a band together and being able to help work on those songs. And it's really wonderful to see that connection. And I think it means a lot to Jules as well, obviously.
When you first heard, it must have been demos that she sent to you, right? There's obviously songs where she's talking about the joy of it and the love, but then there's also ones like Satellites where she's talking about feeling so sick that she thought she could die, kind of thing, or Daydreaming as well was one about her not being able to breastfeed. These are songs that you must have heard first, right, as a demo?
Yeah.
How was it hearing songs like this for the first time?
Satellites was the one for me that it just completely blew me away. I mean, I'm never that surprised when Jules sends a great song, because she's just so good at what she does, and she has a very unique sort of take on things that it's just very Jules. But she's not super forthcoming with her like feelings, and this is her outlet. This is why she's so good, I think, at her job, is because she really uses that channel. And so when she sent Satellites, I just put it on, and I was like, doing, I don't know, pottering around, and it just stopped me. I just completely sucked in by it, and I could not stop listening to it for like a good 2 hours, just on repeat. And it's just and we do keep, well, especially on this record, we kept a lot of the original demo vocals, because they were so raw, and they did the kind of sentiment of the song so beautifully that we ended up using a lot of them, because it's like, you just can't recreate that.
Yeah, it's like completely captured how she was feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
Did you attempt to re-record them at all, or did you think, no, this is it?
For some songs, but it's just like, if it ain't broke, like, you don't have to. That we take a lot from the demos, because Jules she's very instinctive as well. Like, there's like this screeching sound in Trouble, and it sounds so cool. It sounds like, it reminded me of something like in a Yeah Yeahs track, and it's actually just a software violin gone through a pedal board, and it sounds so chaotic, screechy. But she doesn't think about it. She's goes, well, that'll do.
Yeah.
And then it ends up being this amazing, very, very, like, very important part of the song.
Yeah. Often it's like her voice through loads of effects. It doesn't sound like her voice. Or like, there was one time where she made percussion sound up like rubbing her leg hairs, and then it's like, we get to the studio and there's all this, equipment, and we're like, actually, that just sounds really cool. So yeah, we're gonna keep it.
Okay, baking tray I can sort of understand, but the rubbing leg hairs thing, maybe I'll have to try and do some weird recordings. It's like, where does this even come from? But that is amazing. Remember, everyone at home, you guys can ask your own questions as well. Like, what other kinds of non-instruments may have been used on the record. But yeah, I know that you guys had a big hand in like the surgery of the record, what's going to make it onto the album and what doesn't. How was that for you as a band?
It was new. Usually you're quite like, somebody comes in and they take the driver's seat, and especially for me as a drummer, I just was like, when it's time to track, I'll just play my drums and just hang out the rest of the time. And then suddenly it was like,
you're at the helm.
Yeah, with Jules and our friend Cecil. And yeah, suddenly you're like, oh, my hand's on the steering wheel. Which was is a lot of work, but suddenly I'd realized how many times I'd had ideas but just kept them to myself, because you sort of, oh well, somebody else's is not my lane, stay in your lane sort of thing. And I didn't mind that, but then suddenly when I was given the chance, I was like, oh, maybe we could do this, maybe we could do that. So it was different, but yeah, I
felt like you sort of, you had a lot of instincts with it, and it's just like, the best thing is to run with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's, I don't know, when we started playing together and stuff and making albums, it did feel like there were clear like roles of what people should do, but it makes a lot of sense if you're in the band and you also are a producer, because Fern can figure out how to create the things that get the songs across in the right way.
Yeah.
And And I felt like it was really joining for us as a band as well. Like when we tracked at the beginning, it was 2 weeks in the pandemic, so we hadn't spent much time together. And going through that process together, I think then at the end when we recorded the last 4 songs with Cecil as well, we were just closer than ever. We were just really like locked in with each other, which was really great.
Yeah, as a whole, it just feels like so in tune, like from start. I've listened to this album so many times. Honestly, I love it. And we were talking just before we went live. We were talking about you on tour, because obviously you've been playing live loads. And last night was the first time that you had your full actual kit that was yours together.
Yeah.
Was that the first time like playing this album?
Yes. Well, we did a few festivals this summer and we had it then, but like the tour we did before the Installs tour had been postponed for like 2.5 years, and it was like finally it's here. We were like so rehearsed, and then we played a festival in Spain just 2 nights before, and it all got lost. So it was it was really nice to have it last night. We got it at the end of the Install tour, and we like got to the lockup really late at night, and we were all like hugging our pedals. It was like, we were quite delirious with the joy of having it back.
Oh, I'm honestly so pleased that you've got it back, but that is so gutting. Like, I mean, this album, well, everyone last night is very lucky to have seen you guys with that. Right. So also we were talking about the front cover, obviously, and also you guys look amazing on the back as well. I think I read somewhere that you guys saw this photo and was like, that's it has to be the cover. Does that mean that this wasn't originally the shoot for the cover?
Well, we did a shoot soon after recording the first chunk of recording, and we wanted to get it in then because Jules was obviously pregnant and was going to have a baby very soon, and we wanted to capture that. And it was like we were hoping we'd get an album cover, but we were like, we'll get some photos and see. And then when we got them back, like even though there were great photos, some other great photos, we were just like, it just has to be, you know. And Jules wasn't sure at the beginning, obviously, because it's also just her. But I think everyone just strongly felt that captured the whole feeling of the record, and it just sort of couldn't be anything else.
It's amazing. It's such a striking image, and obviously you're all there as well.
Yeah, Jules says she can't look herself in the eye on the cover, and we had to sign a lot of them and see a lot of them records. She was just like, I can't look her in the eye.
Oh, that is amazing. All right, let's get some questions from people watching at home. We have Mark and Misty on the Big Moons page. Says, will you be making another acoustic album similar to your 2017 EP? This would be amazing if you included songs from your last 2 albums.
Oh, thanks. Well, we don't plan to, but I think we really enjoyed this week of playing acoustic versions of songs.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's nice to give them another life as well, you know. So maybe no plan, but you know, we might get bored.
Good idea. Yeah.
Mark and Misty there planting seeds. Love it. Basically, they're asking you to do it.
Well,
yeah, this is for Mark and Misty. Amanda on the Official Charts Facebook page says, the album is incredible and the bonus tracks on the limited edition are also killer. Is there any chance we might hear them live in future tours?
Ooh.
Maybe.
Maybe.
These are just requests from people, aren't they?
Yeah,
we should make a note of all these things. I mean, I'd like to play them, and give them their own life, because we could have put them on the record, but it was just a bit too long and it wouldn't have fit in onto a vinyl. So it's nice we've got them out on this CD.
Fair enough.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Another one to note down.
Yes.
We have Rory on the Record Club's Facebook page says, what was the most challenging part of making this album?
getting it finished.
Is that point of like feeling like something is wrong? Something isn't right, sorry. And having like the courage and the time and the resources to be like, trust us. We can like try and make this how it's meant to be. And like Fern said that she felt like she knew what Jules was saying, and she felt so much from the demos, but when she listened back to what we first recorded, you just weren't feeling the right feelings.
Yeah.
And it's quite scary being like, okay, we've just put all of this stuff into recording the album, and actually it's not finished, even though everyone wishes it was, you know. But it's worth it.
I feel like this is what's so good, that you had the time because you were producing it yourself, and just like that inkling, like knowing Fern's going to be a very in-demand producer. All of you in-demand producers after this. Right, we have Anthony on the Record Club's YouTube saying, did it feel weird having to do a delayed tour for your second album whilst also preparing for the third album coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did feel weird. And a lot of people said, like, please make sure you play second album songs, even though like so much time has passed, because they didn't really get their moment. Poor guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the beginning, it was just like, well, it's a pandemic, so it didn't feel weird to not tour. It was just like, we just keep postponing it until it's safe. But I think in the months running up to this tour, we were just like desperate to do it.
We have Hannah on the Record Club's Facebook page saying, how does it feel to perform songs about pregnancy and early motherhood for the band members who haven't gone through that journey?
It's like similar to the other songs, you know. A lot of these songs, Jules is the songwriter in the band. You're always performing her experiences most of the time. I don't really think about it too hard, you know. I feel like you're just backing up, you know. You just backing Jules up in the storytelling.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's specific. It's very specific on this record compared to the last ones. Obviously, it's always about Jules's experience, but this is very specific. But I guess it's the same of listening to any music that you love. Like you take your own thing from it, and it's also like a really interesting and lovely to hear Jules's experience of that in the music and be able to like help support that.
I guess lyrically it makes you think about what she's going through as well, because it's something that you haven't. So it makes you think of things that you never would have thought of before. That's kind of the perspective that I took. So we have Stephen on the Record Club's YouTube saying, if you could pick another UK band to collab with, who would it be and what kind of tune would you like to make?
Ooh. We played on our friend Marika Hackman's record years ago, and that was like the best. It was so fun, and we did a tour together where we were playing in her band. But I mean, it wasn't a collab because it was like us playing her record. I mean, I guess it was in a way, but that was amazing. I really loved that. But I don't know. Do you know, Fern?
I am really bad with like records.
With what?
15 years. I don't really know any band. Marika Hackman. There you go.
It's different though for bands to do it with another band. It's quite like a lot of people, isn't it? I would definitely like to hear one with you and Marika. I feel like I saw something that you did with them with Marika over summer, and it was like an interview and your chemistry was great. So I was like, why do we actually not have a song from you two artists if you've been touring together?
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Well, we'll ask her.
That's another thing to add to the list of things that you've got.
Yeah. Oh, we've got so much to do.
So much stuff to do. Get to work. All right, I have one more to ask you before you leave, before I let you go. So there's lots of thank yous at the bottom of the record. If you get the record, there's literally the list of thank yous is all here. And at the bottom we have, somewhere in there, we had a thank you for Sybil and Squid, who didn't exist last time there was an album. Sybil is, I tried Googling this and I don't know why it didn't come up, but Sybil is Jules' son, right?
No.
child? No.
Another small person in the.
Another small person.
Not one of our babies.
Oh, okay. To Siblings Good. Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to ask who would you like to thank you off the album, and who was Sybil and Squid?
So who would we like to thank on the album?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Sybil and Squid question is now. Is it? Do I ask it? Who's Sybil and Squid? Who's Jules' son? I swear I had their name somewhere, and
No, we haven't said their name.
You haven't said, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, they're nicknames basically.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. I'll leave it.
Sybil and Squid sounds like a really great duo though. Maybe.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is so cryptic. I have one more question, so that was my last question. And now it's just gonna stay cryptic forever.
Sybil and Squid.
Sybil and Squid. All right, well, thank you so much, Soph and Fern, for joining us from the Big Moon. Of course, everyone at home who's watching, make sure to treat yourself to a physical copy of Here Is Everything. Now that the episode is over, by picking up one from your local record store. And also, I need to mention that the winner of this week's Bowers & Wilkins Wireless Headphones Prize is Hannah Davies on the Record Club's Facebook page. So make sure to slide into the Record Club's DMs and we'll get those headphones to you. Thank you so much for joining us and sending in your questions. Our next guest is going to be announced on the Record Club's social media very soon. So make sure you're following us, and all previous episodes are available to watch back on our YouTube channel. Soph and Fern, thank you so much.
Thank you.